Hey guys, Doc here to tell you about something that could really give you the edge in gaming. I'm talking about our show sponsor, Fade Grips. Thumbstick grips as well as controller grips that give comfort, precision, and control so you can take your gaming to the next level. Just go to fadegrips.store and check out all they have to offer. And with our promo code, CAG20, at checkout, you can get 20% off your entire order. That's fadegrips.store with offer code CAG20.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 35 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts Chocolate Bear.
How you doing?
Doc H1X1.
Hello, hello.
And joining us in our rotating fourth chair, community member Maldo.
Hey,
What's up, Maldo? Welcome back to the show.
thanks, man. Happy to be here. It's been a while.
It has. Glad to have you back. First and foremost, we have a new patron, and that patron is Chestar.
Woo! Yeah!
Yes.
Just a bunch of woo boys.
Woo!
Time to start this shit talking.
That's
No, I
next
think
week.
he has a week. So.
Yeah, it's in our
Wow.
terms of service. You should have read it.
Thanks for the support, man. Appreciate it. If you want to be like Chestar, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. Support us there. We just had our game drawing last week. Shout out to Troubadour, who won that one. Yep. Clap, clap.
Did Troubadour pick a game yet?
No, he got it in Xbox credit. Jesus, I
Oh,
couldn't think of what it was
gotcha.
called.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. We had our Podcast Wars Part 2 recently. Chocolate, why don't you tell the folks about that?
Should we, or should we leave it mysterious and
We
just say to him to check out YouTube? No.
We should just tell them to check out Part 3, coming
Yeah.
in a few weeks.
Yeah, don't worry about part. The game we played today is that was a non-starter. We somehow got snatched from our grasp. We had it in
Oh,
the
I know
bag.
somehow.
Doc's still a little salty about this.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
So what was it? The one-power weapon that only spawned once. But anyway, c'est la vie. It's okay. Real Game Score 1. Congratulations to them. And we'll see you on round 3.
I think they were using one of those keyboard and mouse, like third-party things.
They had to have. The Zim
Funny
4.
enough-
That's what it was.
Yeah, what was it? The third game or fourth game where all of a sudden their points? It was like capture the hill type.
Oh, it's really funny. Chocolate was like,
Chocolate, of the one thing you're gonna hinge on, don't hinge on the one where we got beat by 4 times the
1,000,
many
dude.
points they started. Yeah,
we lost by 1,000 and they started with 40.
yeah
and
that,
Chocolate
that
was
one I have no
my
issue
God.
with. That one we just straight up lost. But
Yeah. I have an issue with that.
anyways, like Chocolate said, check that out on YouTube. That'll be coming out in the next week sometime, Chocolate.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The game is absolute madness. Really fun.
it is pretty fun. Yeah.
It's
the
funny playing with those guys because they're from Australia, and then Doc and I are from the U.S., Chocolate's from the U.K., and so when you're in a server, you kind of never know what to expect. So it's like you'd kill someone, and then like a second later you'd die. I mean, it was happening to both sides, but it's just funny because I would actually like to play that game, like, not with people from Australia, no offense, just to see like what the actual game is like, because it seems like it could be fun. So
Totally.
I'd like to give it a shot with a little less like either
Some
way.
decent ping would be nice.
Yeah. All right. Another week in
what does the
gaming.
ping look
Maldo's here.
That's the name of my next band, Decent Ping. I'm gonna,
Decent.
yeah, it's my next band name.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
All right. What have you guys been playing this week? I'm gonna start with Chocolate and Hellblade. Although he just muted himself, so maybe I'm
The
not.
baby
gonna do
monitor
that.
just went off, I think.
Yeah, the baby literally just
Right
went
when
off.
you were.
I can go
Timing.
elsewhere.
I would suggest for the next 10 to 15 seconds you should.
All right, no problem. So Doc, you dove into Valkyria Chronicles 1, which is weird because I just bought 4, and apparently
right.
those two games take place at the same time.
Yeah.
So I should start it up while you're playing yours. But
I'm still a lot like you in the sense that like I buy games that I have no intention of playing right away.
Oh, good.
All the time. So I bought 4 and then was like, hey, let's start with 1 on the Switch. Plus, with the whole us doing an anime podcast eventually, I feel like I need to really ingratiate myself in this anima culture, you know? So
Anima count? What?
Anime.
That's what I heard.
I think he said anima.
Well, that's a whole different. Turns out conventions are actually side by side, but it's a whole different thing. Anyways, yeah. So I got Valkyria Chronicles 1 on the Switch. I know nothing about this series. I knew that it was mix of RTS slash top down slash you move characters around, get behind cover, shoot guns kind of thing. But it's turn based. I know that's like a lot of stuff all in one, but it's kind of hard to describe because it's kind of its own genre, I guess. The thing I didn't know about this game, and maybe I should expect this with anime games in particular, there's a whole bunch of talking in between gameplay in this game.
That seems right.
A whole bunch of talking. And so far in the story, I'm this guy from this random village, because the game takes inspiration from World War I, World War II, but with a very much alternate history, not even alternate history, but made-up history timeline. So it looks like Europe, but it's not really Europe, and there's basically a Eastern Western power, and you're this small little like Belgium-type country in the middle. And so far, basically, I'm returning to my homeland to meet my sister and get everybody fled to the capital, and I meet this girl, and she's like a town guard, and of course, they're flirting with each other, and yeah, that's it so far. And I've killed a lot of the Eastern Empire dudes, aside from all that.
So, Doc, what I noticed when I was downloading this, the like add-on content you could buy, there was like, I don't know, like $5.
Yeah.
A lot of it was, how do I put this? It came, like, what it literally said was, this pack comes with bathing suits, skins
I haven't
for
gotten
your
into
characters.
that stuff yet, but I will say I would not be overly surprised if it took that turn.
Is that why you picked the game, Doc? Or...
Well, literally, okay. I'm not like saying the Coen brothers need to like produce the story behind these games, but when the game boots up and it's like me and this like guard girl are like flirting with each other, and this caravan of civilians are getting mowed down, and we're like, well, maybe we have, you know, they're talking about whether or not they have time to hang out later. And it's just like these atrocities are happening right in front of us. It's just like, what is this? What? I mean, I get it, you know, whatever. You know, you got to build up characters and stuff, but it's just, it's I don't know. It's the story is bizarre. And it's, you know, anybody that's played Valkyria Chronicles, I'm sure it's a good series and stuff. And I'm liking it so far. It's just a little heavy on the cutscenes and talking. But the way the game is set up is like, the story's told through like chapters in a book. And so you'll get to a chapter, and it's like, it'll like have these little squares that will have eventually have pictures in them. And when you do that little mission, it fills in the picture. And so you'll get to a chapter, and there's like 6 or 8 boxes that aren't filled in. You're like, man, I'm gonna get some gameplay out of this. And then 1 out of the 7 boxes was a gameplay mission, and the other 7 were cutscenes with a shit ton of dialogue. And that's kind of been my experience so far. It's kind of like, yeah, it's got a story, all right.
So you said you were trying to get into the anime culture. You're literally just watching anime in this game.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know. Maybe it'll pick up more with some more gameplay later on. I mean, the gameplay itself is pretty cool. It's a little basic at this point in terms of everything I played with so far is like there's 2 character types and there's only a couple different weapons, but it seems like that could be a pretty cool hook in terms of the gameplay. I'm kind of regretting the whole let me go back play Valkyria Chronicles 1 for the story, because that might be my least favorite part about this game. So
great. That's what I was like getting into this for. I was like,
yeah,
this seems interesting.
Yeah, anybody out there, maybe just go straight into 4. Maybe, I don't know.
I'll let you
maybe
know.
Maybe that's the way to go. But I don't know. It's fine so far, and I'm sure the story gets better and stuff, and I'm sure I'm sure it will introduce some memorable characters. But yeah, so far I'm really adjusting to the whole like heavy dialogue scenes with cutscenes and stuff. Yeah, but it's pretty cool so far.
All right. Chocolate, I wasn't here last week, so I'm assuming you may have started to talk about this, but Hellblade, how are you coming along on Hellblade?
Chocolate.
Yeah, don't do that.
Over here, behind you.
Are you even recording?
And he's gone.
Yeah, there's no spatial awareness, guys, so it's coming in both headphones. So it's fine.
Hey, that's a you problem, not us.
That's your equipment, dude. Yeah, the game is fantastic. It has got far too much of that that spatial awareness and the
Just whispering in your head.
and sometimes you're playing it and you feel it kind of immerses you in more, and you feel like you're going crazy as you're playing it. And occasionally I have taken my headphones off and just looked around the house just in case. I'm like, what's going on here? But yeah, the game is unreal. What they've done with it and the way they've put the sound in the game. So kind of the gameplay's, it's all right. It's good. It holds up. But that sound, it's like watching the old films where they used to put the music in, and there was no dialogue. It was just text on the screen. The old black and white movies. Mm-hmm. The music is, or the sound of this game is the one that draws you in, and I feel myself more engrossed in the sound than I am in actually what's going on the screen. And I think I'm going a little bit crazy with it as well.
See, it seems like it's quite the looker on the X too, from just like screenshots I've seen.
Oh, definitely looks really good. The cutscenes. So normally you have the cutscenes that are the grade A. You know they've put time and work, and that's the best picture you're going to get out of your game. However, this is quite flawless. They both look near on the same. I think. So yeah, I'm loving it, and I'm also looking forward to finishing it as well and getting that off my backlog.
You were talking about the gameplay. Just outsider's perspective looking in. What I've heard about this game so far is everything around it's really good, but the gameplay might be a little basic. Is that probably true? Or
hack and slash, and then go find your. Probably the easier way to call it is your crackdown orb type thing. Essentially, that's it. Oh, and the puzzles are really good, really infuriating as well. So on each, not on every door, but on most doors, there are certain symbols, and you have to match the symbol with potentially a piece of like a building or like a spire might have like a kink to it.
Perspective type thing, or
is it like a Resident Evil 7 where you have to spin the thing until it becomes what it's supposed to be? You
don't need to spin it, but you have to move in the correct position.
Angle the camera almost.
Yeah. So there was one.
That's cool.
Those puzzles are really good. There was one where it was like an A, and I missed it because of where I was standing, and managed to.
I think you were talking about that in Discord. I think you didn't you reach out for help?
Yeah,
someone help me.
So, speaking of Discord, real quick, I got to give a shout out to Kate, Super Catrix, who at one point was asking Chocolate, like, because everybody was bringing up the fact that like this is a game where early on people thought that if you died enough it would restart your save, which later on I think that was debunked. But
that was a rumor.
Yeah, Kate was
like, it says in the game. Right at the beginning.
Yeah,
they lied.
I think the idea was that they wanted to make you think that to alter the way you played or played more carefully. But like, I like how Kate was like, "So Chocolate, your arm will get slowly blacker the more you die. How many times have you died? Like, is it on your fingers, your palm? Is it on the wrist?" Chocolate's like, "I think it's up my shoulder. I'm not sure."
Yeah, I was.
I appreciated that.
It's about yay. It's just past the elbow.
To quote Chocolate, he was shoulder deep in the blackness on his arm.
Yes.
Shoulder deep in blackness. Sounds great.
Moving swiftly on.
Sorry. Maldo. Looks like you're playing some older games. Diablo 3, you playing that on the Switch by chance?
No, I can't afford that.
Okay, yes.
I thought it was going someplace. I was like, no, please, the Switch. I don't play that toddler console.
No, I love my Switch. It's It was a full. I really thought about buying it again, but it's $60. A full $60 game on the Switch.
That's just like Skyrim. Every time they re-release that on something, it's like $60, huh?
That's the Nintendo tax. You got to fund Mario's beach house mortgage.
So Diablo, I'm sure you guys all know, it's the best in its genre. I don't like playing it by myself, but I've got a handful of friends that are really into the game. I have never played it before. We're not watching any cutscenes. I don't really know what's going on.
The Skeleton King, Maldo.
Yeah, they're carrying me through everything. I just tap buttons and things die. I'm playing as the Necromancer, and we're just power leveling through everything. But I have no idea. It's probably the worst way to go through this game. But it's fun with friends.
What isn't? Well,
Let me tell you about the Fallen Star, Maldo. No, just kidding.
Is that a Diablo 3 thing?
Well, yeah, that's this dude. He gets hit by a star, but it's really a guy.
Kane.
Yeah, it's really this guy who was like an angel, and we killed some guy that was a Skeleton King, and then he got his angel wings back. I don't know.
I wonder how many people you're offending that are like diehard Diablo 3 fans right now.
I'm sorry for all of the unsubscriptions you're gonna get.
We're real big in the Blizzard community, trust me.
How many diehard people play this game? But it is great. It's the best type of this game.
It's just a looter,
Well-
right? I've tried playing Diablo 3 about maybe 4 times, and I usually get like a half hour to an hour in, and I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. And I love loot and shoot like games. I guess it's more like a hack and slash and loot game, but still.
It's just a big checklist. Like, okay, we have to go through all this and get this and how many things. But it's fun. It's fun with friends. I really don't enjoy playing it by myself, but with a solid group, it's a blast.
That could be my problem. But I don't think I've ever tried playing it with people, so.
Have you ever played Path of Exile, Maldo?
I tried it. I didn't like it as much.
Okay. It's a less I don't know how to describe it. It's very similar, but maybe less of a nice presentation, maybe as Diablo. But it's very similar though.
Yeah, it was a little rough. I was told that is more of a comparison to Diablo 2.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, 100%. Yep.
And that's why people like that game.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. Yeah.
So how old is Path of Exile? That's
That's much
than-
newer. Yeah,
Okay.
that but like Maldo said, that was more of a spiritual successor to Diablo 2. Because I guess you had that hardcore section of the fan base out there who didn't think Diablo 3 was enough like Diablo 2. So I guess that was more for that audience, I guess. I don't know enough of the subtleties in either though. I beat both, but I'm not hardcore into either, so I don't know enough of the subtleties to be like, this is why that crowd likes this game or vice versa. But that seems to be the general vibe of why each person.
It didn't feel as polished the little bit that I played of Path of Exile.
Yeah.
It's a free to play game. I didn't get too deep into it. It just didn't feel as good as Diablo, especially starting Diablo first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Something I've been playing, and I think I might have talked about this on episode 33, but I had started up The Messenger. It's a side-scrolling like action platformer kind of game. But something cool happened since I actually finished the game, so I have one game done this year so far. So far, so good.
Congrats.
Thank you. But about halfway through the game, so it goes from that side-scrolling action platformer thing, and then I kept thinking I was getting closer and closer to the end of this game, and I beat what I thought was like the last boss of the game, and I was maybe 3 or 4 hours in. I was like, all right, so this is kind of short or whatever. I beat him, and then the game gets like flipped on its head, and it turns into a Metroidvania. So all of those,
really?
yeah, super interesting.
Gotcha.
All those platforming levels that you had just gone through, like you can't go back or anything, or you could go back, but you couldn't go to like any of these other areas. But now that it's flipped into a Metroidvania, you can actually go back and like explore all those levels. And the whole second half, which I want to say is like 2/3 of the game, it feels like it's definitely the bigger half. it just turns into a completely different game. So you're gonna it feels like you're getting two games with one cohesive story, which is cool. So then once that happens, you also unlock the ability to change time. So you can go forward in time 500 years. What this does is it takes this 8-bit game that you've been playing and turns it into a 16-bit game. So
that's cool.
Yeah, literally everything from the environment to your character to all the enemies, they all have 8-bit versions and 16-bit versions. So it's like there's like portals in different sections. So if you hit the portal, you'll switch it or whatever. But it even goes as far as to change the music, which is really, really awesome.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So you're totally getting that NES versus SNES type of upgrade in music.
100%.
That is
yes.
cool. That's cool.
And the music is great in it too. Like I don't think I got annoyed with the music, and I played it. I think it was 16 or 17 hours. Was when I rolled credits.
I'm buying this for sure.
It's like you got the remaster and the original game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I mean, the time traveling thing and like changing from 8 to 16, that works with some puzzles too, because like only in the 16-bit area are some spots open. So if you run into a spot and you're in 8-bit, you actually have to go find a portal, switch over, and then go do it.
I was just about to ask, with that being a Metroidvania, if that plays a key in terms of gating off areas or whatever.
Definitely. Or like there's these NPC bosses that I had to talk to. So it's kind of funny because after you kill a lot of these like main bosses, they're just like, oh, I'm just misunderstood, and then you like become friends with them, which is also the humor in this game. I didn't enjoy it at first because it was just a lot of it was self-aware, like the humor they were saying, like they knew they were in a video game, which isn't always my favorite thing, but it got better. And with these bosses, you'd beat them, and then they're like friends with you and make conversation or whatever. So these dudes that I had beat in the 8-bit world, I went back there in the 16-bit, and they were just like skeletons. So I had to get, it was something from their like corpses, which obviously I couldn't get that when they were alive because I'd go up and talk to them and be like, hey, what's up? But then if you step through the portal, switch it over to 16-bit, go back, they'd be dead, and then you could pick up the stuff you needed. So yeah, it definitely plays a big part in the actual Metroidvania like puzzles. Super, super cool. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say about it. A lot of the platforming is tough. A lot of the boss fights are also super tough. It may have outstayed its welcome a little bit because the latter half of the game, the Metroidvania part, you're trying to collect these 6 like music notes, or maybe it's 8, I don't remember. And that feels very fetch questy, I want to say. They're all super similar, like get to this part. So there's a lot of back traveling. And there is a fast travel mechanism, but it only brings you to certain areas. So even if you knew where you need to go, the closest fast travel point might be like 10 minutes away or something. And that could get frustrating, especially if it was in a part with like really hard platforming. But with that being said, it's fantastic. I think this might have been, if I had actually played all the way through it, this might have given like Hollow Knight a run for its money as like my favorite Metroidvania from last year. So it might have actually broke my top 5, maybe. So I definitely recommend it though.
You put Hollow Knight over Dead Cells?
Yeah, I
did.
Metroidvania over roguelike. That's what that came down to. So it's the dying. I like a good roguelike, but I don't know. The combat in Dead Cells obviously beats both of these. There's a lot of good things about both those games, though. All right, moving on. What else have we been playing? I can't get back to the Google Doc. My bad. Maldo, how about some Far Cry 5 DLC? I'd like to hear about that. Which one are you playing? Are you playing all of them?
So I have the season pass. I have them all. It took me since release to beat Far Cry 5, and I just beat it last weekend.
How'd you like that ending?
Well,
which ending did you get? I guess I should say, yeah.
We fought him. We decided we were going to stay, and he
Go
got
on,
all
get it.
crazy. He was all hopped up on the bliss.
Shoot him with
And-
bliss bullets.
Yeah, and then the nuke went off. Or spoiler, there's a nuke.
Say that after the fact.
If you've seen trailers for Far Cry 5 New Dawn, you kind of know what the canonical ending was there. So I think you're good
Yeah.
on spoilers.
Yeah. And I played it with a coworker pretty much the whole time, but on his game, so on my side, it's like I haven't even beat the first area, so it's a little annoying about that. Which I
That's-
knew going into. It's just like half the achievements are still locked because they're solo only.
I was gonna say it's so frustrating
Yeah.
when they do co-op like that. It was just like because it was everything you could do in the or could you play literally the whole game co-op
Yeah,
as long as you were in his session?
We
That's
played
what it was?
yeah, I
the
think
whole
so.
game together, but in his session.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't this one. I thought there was one game where it's like you could do all the open world stuff, but then
4.
oh, it was 4.
Yeah,
that was
4
like
locked out from like the really specific story beat
actual
stuff.
like
yeah.
mission. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of. My
I
bad.
don't get it.
It's weird.
Everything is better with friends. Why they
Well,
make it difficult?
You really got the idea in between those games. They acted like they really like were in the phase of like we heard you about 4, we're gonna make 5. The co-op's gonna be much more fleshed out, but like not really. I mean,
They took one small step in the right direction. They let you play with
Yeah.
your friends on the actual campaign missions.
but like everything around the edges of it was just like makes you not want to necessarily do it that much because you're not progressing anything in your side of things. So you're not going to want to do it very much, you know.
Do you know what that
I'm-
means, though, Doc? It means that Far Cry New Dawn, the 7th or 8th Far Cry game,
Oh,
might actually
yeah.
get the multiplayer right, the co-op right. Woohoo!
Yeah.
I do like so the last time they did what was it Primal? They reused Far Cry 4's map. There's a whole big
I believe
stink
that is
about
correct.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
think
time
that's
they're
right.
just like, well, you're still in Hope County. Just nuclear apocalypse.
Definitely the easiest way to create a game is just make everything grayer and more ashy looking and maybe blow some stuff up. But use literally the same exact map. But yeah, you're right. At least they came out and said it this time instead of trying to hide it like they did with Primal. That was
I do
pretty
remember-
bad.
Yeah, I remember that happened with Primal because, like, I think it wasn't until somebody kind of overlaid the 2 maps and were like,
Oh, they're
"Oh
identical.
man,
Yeah.
oh
Ugh.
damn, yeah,
This is the same thing.
oh wow."
So they're learning. Now they just say it from the beginning. I'm playing the Mars DLC, which I was told is the best one.
Is this
Which
your
is
first
still-
one?
This is the first one
Viet-
for me.
Okay.
Vietnam, I think, was the actual first one, right?
I don't know in what order.
Yeah, I believe so.
But the only reason it's decent is because the character Herc. You guys remember who Herc
Herc's
is?
back.
Oh, he's from
It's like-
4. He was the co-op guy in 4, wasn't he?
He
No,
would. Oh,
I don't
he's
think so.
also he's
Is it-
a dude in 5 as well.
Yeah,
Isn't he a buddy?
He's one of your buddies, but he's the senator or congressman's son, something like that. And he's just a real mess up. He's like, I'm
Wait.
drinking beers. I'm Herc.
Wait, holy cow! Did they bring that character over from 4?
Yeah,
because there was a
it's-
guy in 4.
It's the
yeah.
same dude. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that I did not know that. Okay.
He's like, I'm gonna start my own cult called the Herc Cult. We're gonna drink beers and get laid. You don't remember that guy? He was hilarious.
I didn't play much of 5. I wasn't really into 5.
Well, you're just driving your truck and drinking a beer, and then all of a sudden you get pulled up. A beam of light sucks you up into Mars, and Herc is now a head. He's just a floating head.
Oh, God.
And he has this robot girlfriend that they're trying to restore the power to her terminals because these alien
Excuse you.
these alien crab-looking creature things have taken over, and she can't maintain control without going up to these towers. It's a whole bunch of towers.
Oh, towers, you say?
A whole bunch of
Huh.
towers. And did you play the beginning of 5 where you had that
Yeah, I
first
did.
tower?
I probably played about 4 hours worth of
And-
5. Yeah.
Specifically, it says you won't do many of these here.
Yeah.
The Mars DLC is all towers, but you're guided by Herc, and it's like another spoiler. He's a floating head, and then you're able to convert his head into a robot. You bring his mind into a little floating robot. It's like, I'm a robot, Herc.
I'm actually totally okay with all this. Actually, by the way, this actually does sound pretty great.
That's what
you know?
I loved when they first announced these DLC. I was like, this is the perfect way to do it because you gave me a complete package with Far Cry 5, And then you just have all this weird bullshit as your DLC, like just fun little add-ons. There's not chunks of the main story like missing and being held back.
Yeah.
I loved it when they announced these 3 DLC because they were just so far out there.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Are these standalone or?
Yeah, they are. That's what I'm saying is that it's kind of.
Well, I mean, are they standalone in the sense that can I get these without owning 5?
I think you still need the game.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay, all right.
They got to get you to buy the 5.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I'm not complaining. I get that part. Yeah. But
good stuff. I bought that. I think I bought the deluxe edition or whatever it was that came with it, and I still haven't touched those. I beat 5 at least. So there's that.
Okay, question. This is relevant too. Now, actually, Chocolate, have you played any 5 or?
I haven't touched 5. I wanted to, and I can't think what came out or what I was trying to play in the meantime. So I left 5.
Again,
so,
not to
thank
be
you for the spoilers.
Anyways,
Anytime.
not to be entirely a downer, but okay, Risky, how do you feel about the series now? Like, are you just wanting another, like, how are you feeling about the sequel coming out? As far as, like, I don't think it's going to be a surprise to say it's going to be a lot like 5 in a different setting.
It's a post-apocalyptic world. I love it.
But, like, if you hop in and there's just icons on the map and you're going up towers and it's the same 4 NPC type enemies coming up to you every 5 seconds, like, are you actually cool with that? Like, liberating bases and stuff?
Chances are, yeah, I'm still going to love this one.
Okay, all right. See, I got burned out on that after 4, but that's just me.
See, that's like 5. I thought 5 was awesome. So, I don't know. Maybe this is just my type of game.
My favorite Far Cry was Far Cry 3.
I loved 3, yes.
That's because
I don't
Voss
like
was
the
there.
silent
Voss
protagonist.
made that whole thing. He was so good. That was 3, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was. Although he ended up not being real the big bad towards the end of that.
He was just the face.
Yeah, he was just the face of it. But like 3 was what got me in the series. I really liked 4, and I played Primal. And I think after Primal is when I'm kind of like, okay, even if you go in a different setting, this is really samesies kind of on a lot of stuff.
So yeah, like I didn't play Primal at all just because I didn't think the setting was interesting, at least not for me.
I didn't like throwing sticks.
Did you like Blood Dragon, the one off the standalone off 3? That was pretty good too, actually.
Didn't play Blood Dragon.
That's like a Tron meets 3 weird.
Isn't it like 80s themed?
It is. It's like 80s Tron in a island like setting of Far Cry 3, but like with like dinosaur like techno thing. It's weird, but it's worth checking out. It's really cool.
And I
remember a lot of purple.
I didn't.
Yeah, a lot of purple.
I didn't get that far into 4. Like I definitely didn't finish 4 and didn't feel compelled to finish it. So I don't know why that was a miss. And then with 5, it's like I think I sat down and beat that game in a couple of weeks because I was enjoying it so much. Like I think the add-on allies or whatever, just like the allies that you could pick and choose who you were going to bring with you, that was an awesome addition to 5. And I liked recruiting all of them. I liked the little stories for all of those. I liked the cult route they took, even though I thought it could have been darker. I remember thinking that a lot. Like, man, I wish this was like a more messed up cult.
So there's so many opportunities in that cult. They captured us so many times. They could have just shot us.
Shoot him with the bliss bullets.
Yeah, I felt like Austin Powers, where they have him, and he's like, Scotty's like,
That's a really
I'll
good...
go get my gun, and we'll shoot them together.
No,
It'll
look,
be fun.
We'll do it right now.
He's like, no, Scotty.
You just don't get it.
Yeah, there's so many times. Get him with the bliss, and then we pass out. And they're like, you see these scars?
All right, let's lock him in this room and let's head on out, guys. It'll be fine.
Nobody needs to stand guard. We're good.
My issue, and I think this happens with a lot of, is it Ubisoft game? Ubisoft?
Oh, it's an Ubisoft game, all
yeah.
right.
They don't allow you to just sit there and enjoy the game. At a certain point, when I would get further into each territory, you couldn't move without the little radar going off or a plane flying.
Yeah.
Or like, we're getting en route. You couldn't just enjoy the game. It was just constantly like, get him!
And until you liberate the whole country, and then you can. Oh no, a nuke went off.
Well, see, there's a new game plus. Oh wait, a nuke went off. Oh, never mind. Okay,
Never mind.
There's just a whole new game. They instead of new game plus, they just went with
yeah, it's just
new dawn.
This
new
is
game.
pre-nuke or it's post-nuke. Sorry.
So, yeah, good shit. All right, Chocolate, you are still playing Dead Cells. You haven't beat Dead Cells yet? I'm pretty sure.
No.
Is it good name? What is the name of that? It's the
Do you
speedrunning
ever
thing.
really beat the Dead Cell? Like, do you ever beat it?
Well,
You
I
just
don't
decide to
feel
stop
you do.
playing.
Actually, I mean, like, not to get too deep, but do you ever actually beat Dead Cells? I mean, really, guys? Do you?
Chocolate, tell us.
I don't feel like you can beat this game. I finally got the tickle thing, the beanstalk.
What are we talking about?
Oh,
Whoa.
okay. I didn't know where
Yeah.
he was going with that. I'm like, I've almost beat this, and I
When
don't think I got to that part.
When talking to Chocolate, I have to question a lot.
The tickle in the beanstalk.
Yeah, the tickle.
I remember. Yes,
Elbow
that's you,
deep
you've
in
kind
the
of got to
black.
your first.
Yeah.
You've got your first like shortcut kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm playing it in between nap times. So, not my nap times, the kids' nap times. I'm not that old.
Sure.
Oh, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Just I'm loving it. It's great. Managed to finally go into the sewers, so that was a nasty shock for me. With the scorpion things, they are tough. But did you guys ever use like one of the power swords where you could move it two ways? There was one way you'd hit it sideways, and then another move where you'd go from top to bottom.
Yep.
It was like a power throwdown.
Yep.
Oh my god, love that.
So is that something you
Love it.
unlocked so you could find it on more runs then?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I really do like that. I love that system, the way that works in that game. It's
confusing as hell as well with the whole collecting the dead cells, unlocking the blueprints, and then it just disappears off your inventory or the when I can't even think of the word when you're handing in your dead cells.
right.
So I think I got the power bow. Was it the one where it shoots 2 arrows? Excellent bow. Do you think I can pick up another one? I can't find it ever.
Yeah, it should. Like, I mean, because the general way that works is, so if it gets saved to a possible drop, like if it gets up in one of those little glass bubble things, that is now a possible drop at the game. But there are still things that are just straight up random too. So I would, I would imagine so. I mean, like, because I want to say there's a lot of different weapons in that game, a lot of different variations on the weapons.
Yeah, loads of variations on the same weapon. It is such a good. I do love the fact that I can pick it up, play, and then just quickly turn it off when the kids start.
Yeah, those run-based like roguelikes, they're so good.
Yeah.
So good, so good. Hopefully I will beat it. I want to sit there and finish it and just say, yes, that's a game off the Switch that I said I was never going to buy in the first place,
And I beat it.
and I beat it. Good.
You earlier we were talking about how you don't really beat this game, but did you see it? It was Awesome Games Done Quick that somebody beat this
Yep.
game in like 16 minutes or something.
Yep,
I think it was
saw
right
that.
around there.
I saw that someone posted that on Discord.
It was
That
pretty great. Yeah.
makes me cry, to be honest.
That's insane, dude. 16 minutes. It takes me 16 minutes to get through the first 2 levels.
I think the thing that's most humbling about that Games Done Quick is when they go back to older games and they not only obviously beat them in a very quick fashion, but they go through certain boss fights in such a nonchalant kind of laissez-faire way to where you're like, when I was a kid, this was like 2 weeks, this thing right here.
And I
Like,
broke
you're just
7
like,
controllers.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, you've not taken a hit yet. Like, it's it is really humbling to go back and be like, oh yeah, I remember that boss fight. Yeah, took
That's
me a
my
month.
childhood
That
done. Thanks for
was-
that. Cheers.
Yeah, exactly. But that is pretty cool watching some of the games they do that with.
Yeah, I think we watched Hollow Knight. Was it last week or the week before last? And watching some of the moves this guy had, and as he was falling, dropping out the. What was he doing? Changing his power-ups, and at one point he was dropping really low into a level, and then he'd fly through the other part of the next. I'm just like, my mind is blown.
How are you doing this? It really just makes you feel terrible about your ability to play games.
I mean, I know I'm bad at games to start with, but yeah, this is making me just want to pack up and leave.
It's something though. Yeah, some of those speedruns, especially when the ones you see, because like they'll have certain speedruns where it's like glitch heavy, But then I really do appreciate the ones where it's not so much glitch heavy and they're just like, they just are this good at this game and they're just, it's just, easy for them. But
yeah, it's just as you say, where they're sitting there nonchalant, just
Yeah.
talking casually. The shoulders are kind of rolled over, relaxed, not this kind of staring really close to the screen.
yeah,
Shoulders
they're not in
squared.
sweaty mode at any point, yeah.
Yeah, not even in the slightest. Occasionally you'll see, the hand wiped and that's it. But yeah, Dead Cells, love that game.
It's a good one. I need to get back to it at some point. Yeah, right.
Need to buy some.
I should just stop saying that. Just take that out of my vocabulary. I need to get back to that. Nope.
And the game I didn't mention that I'm actually going back just to beat for the sake of beating was Mario Odyssey. I never did beat that.
Oh, that's
when
a
I
good
got
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm getting pretty close to the end of that.
That is one I actually beat. One of the few titles on the Switch that I've completed.
Well, I got reminded how good of a game that really is. It is a solid recollection back to like Mario Galaxy and Mario 64 for sure. It's pretty good.
How many moons do you have?
Oh, who cares?
I'd have to go look.
Stupid
I don't even
moons.
know.
I beat that game and then
So
was like,
see how risky beat the game.
Well, see, the
Yes.
thing about it is I kind of lost interest in it when I found out you could just straight up buy them at no specific rate. So then I was kind of like, and they weren't that expensive either. So I'm sort of like, well, it's not like in Mario 64 where theoretically you could get all the stars, and that was an actual conceivable, and shoot your cannon up onto the castle and meet Yoshi. That was a conceivable goal. But like this is more like, oh, I can buy them. Oh, okay.
that was the thing. Like I rolled credits on it and then I was like, oh, you're still missing like 275 stars. And I was like, go F yourself.
It's not happening.
That's the thing. And I knew that like if I had decided to go back and collect those, like I wasn't going to be having fun. Like the fun part
Yeah,
of that Mario
yeah.
game to me was getting through that Mario game and doing everything there and not having to go star hunting. I think Assassin's Creed just broke me a long time ago with collecting feathers, and I've just never been able to do it. So
I got broken on the Assassin's Creed loop when it was the sea shanties in AC4, and some of them were so frustratingly hard to get because they were like these little floating notes that would you would get close and then they would start to fly away.
Oh,
Yes.
I
hated those.
I rage quit twice getting one of those one time.
I forgot about those. Yeah, those are terrible.
Yeah, that was the one that broke me back in the day.
Like
Sounds like pigeons.
Yeah, well,
pigeons and Spider-Man.
that'll be my next rage quit probably. But
Nothing worse than having stupid collectibles and then making your collectibles run away from people.
yeah, and the whole time you're just like, get back here, you little get.
Oh man.
Trying to angle that ship just right and never getting it perfect.
Just yeah.
All right. The other game that I played a bunch of these past weeks is Mark of the Ninja Remastered. I picked that up on the Switch. I picked up a bunch of games on the Switch, and I actually put up a poll in our Discord, and I was like, hey, what game should I play? And I think there was like 6 or 7 of them that I had just bought because Nintendo had a giant sale, and everything was on sale, and I had to buy everything. So I did. And Mark of the Ninja won. And this is a side-scrolling action stealth game. It's definitely stealth-focused. Apparently, it came out on Xbox in 2012, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to ask if this was a remake or re-release of that actually.
It's called Mark of the Ninja Remastered, so I'm assuming they touched
JK,
up some
sorry.
things.
Something is improved somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a ton to say about it. It's a standard stealth game, but it's a really good stealth game. As far as having different techniques or different like throwables or distractions, bunch of different ways to kind of take down enemies. Like you get points for going by people passively and not hurting them. You also get points for like one-hit stealth kills, which as long as you sneak up on a person, you're always going to kill them in one hit. I think I just ran into my first enemy that I have to stun first and then kill him. But every enemy I've run into to this point, if you're playing stealthy, it's a one-hit kill, which is nice. The thing when you're going to one-hit kill someone is you have to hit the Y button, and then it also gives you a direction that you have to aim with your left stick. So if you know that if you're following behind someone and you know that any second he could turn around if you go to hit the stealth button and you mess it up, it'll make a loud noise and it'll alert people, because it'll be like he struggled and put up a fight, and then it alerted other people. So that's kind of cool, having to be like under pressure and click the right direction, because then it's an easy cleanup kill. And then you also get points for hiding bodies, things like that. And then you get negative points for alerting people, making alarms go off. And then these points at the end, they work towards, it's like earning honor. I think it's called honor. You use this honor in between levels to upgrade your stuff, as far as like different techniques with being able to kill people from like a perch, or it's all different ways to kill people, I think, is what the actual techniques are. So like if you can hide behind things, but you couldn't kill people while you were hiding behind these certain things to start with, but then you can unlock. Right, it's kind of weird that you can just kill the dude.
Anybody else? I was gonna say, does anybody else think it's ironic that the currency is honor you get for backstabbing people? Nothing against it. I'm just saying I thought it was a little ironic, but
yeah. So that whole like skill tree is all just different ways to kill people, and then there's a distraction skill tree, which is like noisemakers and firecrackers, stuff like that. And then you actually have an attack one where it's like you get throwing stars and you can level up different lethal weapons. Games, it's good. It's a good, if you like stealth games, then this might be right up your alley.
It's interesting, the whole backstab mechanic you talked about. It almost sounds like the reload mechanic in like Gears of War. I'm wondering why more games didn't like utilize that as an extra additional like gameplay feature, for something so mundane as just like pressing a button behind somebody or something.
Yeah, what was the perfect reload in Gears? What did that actually do? Like, what did you net from that?
The bullets, so however far down the clip you was when you did it, those bullets did extra damage that you did that with.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, so it gave it an incentive. There was also an incentive behind it. And obviously, if you missed the barn totally, you would jam and it would take longer to reload. So it made something as mundane as reloading actually kind of like gameplay mechanic-y.
Especially in multiplayer, it meant something, didn't it? To get that quicker reload. So I think it was an average. If you let the bar just go normally, it would take, say, 3 seconds. You manage to get the active reload, it would take 1 second. If you messed it up, it would take...
extra damage on your bullets, too. So, it was...
Yeah.
So I feel like that was something maybe like... I had never played this game Risky, so I'm kind of like bummed to hear that like maybe more stealth games didn't like take a cue from them with the whole, backstab extra little thing to where like you could do it silently or not silently kind of thing.
Right, because it's easy to just sneak up behind a dude and hit a button.
Press a button.
By having to quickly just pick a direction. It's good.
So all I'm thinking of is Metal Gear Solid and the alert sound every time you failed. That's all I can think. Yeah, that's all I can think when you're saying hide the body, sneak up behind them.
The main character
under a cardboard box.
There's no cardboard boxes, but you definitely do get some Metal Gear vibes. So it's really funny that you say that. Because there's a lot of that. And even to the alert noise, there's definitely an alert noise. It's not just like the Metal Gear one, but it's got to be kind of similar.
Missed opportunity.
For sure.
Completely.
So that's a good one. Another one that was cheap. I think it was maybe like $10, but a lot of fun. All right, Maldo, getting into some Paladins. Paladins, where are you playing Paladins? Is Maldo here?
Yeah,
he is. I got real nervous there for a second. But
whoa, calm down.
Where is he?
Destroying the Google Doc right now.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you guys saw that. I
I was
copied
looking at my
something
peripherals and I was like, he's either adding the word penis or additional news. So one of the two, 50-50, flip a coin.
So Paladins is Ladonian's favorite game.
We'll start there. It's a good place to start.
I'm playing it on PlayStation with some friends, family members. I like Overwatch a lot. I tried Paladins. It's similar. The biggest difference is the community. Everyone in Overwatch has been huge, just dickbags. I have never received...
No nice people.
Never received so much hate, and not even messages, voice chat while we're playing together of how much I suck and how much they're doing my mother.
Play a role.
And I shouldn't...
See... it's interesting you say that, Maldo, because I had the same experience with Rainbow Six Siege. So I wonder, we should have a competition which is more toxic, like the community around them.
Well, Siege, I've received a lot of messages.
Not as many
Overwatch,
about your mother, though.
Overwatch, it's direct,
Oh, voice.
They're like, hey, and since my gamer tag is my name, for some reason it's like
Sounds
universal. They're like, hey, Rob, don't play Diva if you can't charge her ult quick enough, you asshole.
I want to play this game.
You just see Maldo lay down the controller and just go lay down on the couch. And it's like, I need a minute.
So I enjoy some Overwatch. I have a friend who's super into comp, but until I can get better at it, I don't think I can tolerate it.
Can you not mute? Well, I guess that would kind of defeat the purpose of your team.
Then you'll get
ways.
kicked. Then
I was about to
you'll
say,
get kicked.
Ugh.
So Paladins feels like a Overwatch light. I'm only playing. We're not high enough. I think you have to be level 15.
15 for ranked,
to get into ranked. So we're just playing casual. And me, I have almost a full team if we include Cabo. We are crushing people because I think we're the only ones playing with a full team on casual.
See, now you have to carry the torch in that community and start messaging people when you just murder them. Be like, why do you sell your Switch now? Sell a Switch. Why do you even have a Switch? You suck. Just go away.
Said he was playing on PlayStation, bro.
So this is on PlayStation.
Oh, sorry,
yes,
my bad.
I'll tell them to sell their Switch anyway. Sell your
Yeah,
Switch.
yeah, really make them confused. Yeah, they won't even know what you're insulting them about at that point.
It would be nice if there was crossplay because I have the Founders Pack on Xbox for Paladins, and I miss a lot of those characters playing just the regular free version on PlayStation. And
did they say they were going to eventually? Did PlayStation ever? Like, I know they did Fortnite beta. Have they ever got around to saying that they're going to do that as well for Paladins? Or
I don't think so. I think
That
maybe
one's
the
in
next
beta.
one might be Rocket League, maybe.
okay.
But it's good. It's a classic hero shooter. There are so many similar characters that I have a pretty good feel of what I'm doing. I mean, if you'd ask Lydonian, he would tell you Paladins is better. But they're both really good games. There's subtle differences that make them unique. But I like it.
I just imagine when he said like Overwatch Lite that there was just people rage slamming their phones out there
Again,
somewhere.
so we've got Diablo and now Overwatch. They're just
and then,
unsubscribe.
Path of Exile, which children play, obviously, and then Overwatch.
That's funny. All right, Chocolate, your last game, Fortnite. You're definitely playing Fortnite on the Switch, right?
Yeah. I busted out a Pro Controller, and I've been doing quite well on Fortnite. I think my highest is 4th.
There you go.
I saw that camera phone picture, and I was, that was.
Jealous
If
of my
only there
camera
was a
skills.
dedicated button on the damn console, is all I'm saying. Like,
I was so excited I got 3rd. I missed the button. And then also I couldn't be bothered to post it to Twitter to then pull the picture off.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh. So you will get my rubbish camera pics with the reflection of me in the background.
I was about to say, that's what I study the most, the reflection. I'm just hoping to get some goodies from that.
Oh,
but
you will do.
so
I'm going
far,
to start
not yet.
pouting and winking and everything else. But yeah, me and Ladonian played a few hours ago, actually. And duos is tough.
Was it crossplay or was he on a Switch too?
He was on the Switch too. I have no idea if it was crossplay, like the other team. So we were both switching.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
you still have to opt in, otherwise,
if,
right?
If
Probably.
you're both on the Switch, it should be just Switch and mobile, maybe?
Maybe.
Pass. But some of these people build. So I can't even build anything. So Ladonian was doing the building, and I was flanking, and we got a few kills. I think we did quite well.
It's like Ninja and Drake combo right there.
Woo!
I mean, essentially.
Well, it was the pro and me, the novice. But yeah, it was fantastic. And the way he plays Fortnite it's amazing. He is always, I drop in my same spot. I know what's here. We raid these 3 rooms and then we're off. And I'm like, what's just happened? Where am I? Keep up. Yeah, so it's great, and I'm enjoying Fortnite, which I never thought I would actually say that.
The most I ever enjoyed Fortnite was definitely on the Switch, so
Yeah, I feel the skill level is about
you could definitely
where
tell.
I'm at.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy it. Easy mode.
It worked.
Maldo's making all kinds of fans this episode.
No,
Bunch of
no, that
babies.
is pretty much a fact that Fortnite on Switch is the...
You can tell the skill gap. Lack of skill.
A skill gap, yeah, I think. You're right.
It's Go on, sorry, Maldo.
No, you're right. 100%. Fortnite on Switch is the easiest place to play.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that, and I'm glad I got the.
That
Pro
is the
controller.
official stance of the Cross Atlantic Gaming
And
Podcast.
for the drinking game out there, I can tell in about 5 seconds if they're on a pro controller or not. So you know what to do. Take your shots. Take your shots.
Chug it down.
I debated so hard making that joke.
I knew you was, Risky. I knew you were just waiting.
I'm glad
Like,
you
I was
did it,
like,
so I didn't
You know
have
what? Drinking game. Let's do this.
God, we should throw that in the podcast show notes now.
Do you play with the gyro controls?
Oh God, well, I've not played in a long time, but I definitely probably would not.
No, that sounds
if
terrible.
Yeah.
Do you?
In handheld,
I get by his pause. That's a yes.
when in handheld, yes. Like I have it subtle, so just when it's doing fine aiming, that's when I
You can
use
adjust
the motion
the-
controls.
The
Yeah.
like sensitivity of the
I did not
gyroscope
know
for
that.
aiming?
And you can do it whether it's just scoped or regular
Oh.
third-person shooting.
Huh?
Maybe for like scoped in for like sniping
That-
that might actually
yeah,
be pretty
sniping-
awesome.
Doesn't sound like that would be too bad.
Huh. Maybe we shouldn't have jumped to conclusions and laughed at him.
We'll have to
that
try it
out.
out.
Have to give it a shot.
Huh?
I got most of my kills when I first started with the Joy-Cons in handheld mode.
You use
I
you
see
have a pro
playing
controller now, though, right?
Separate
yeah,
Joy-Cons.
Oh no, it was attached to the Switch. I mean, this thing was right in my
It's
face.
like I'm not a savage, please. They were attached to the Switch. Thank you.
God, yeah, I don't like it on that whatever that thing's called.
The dog ears.
Yeah, the thing I left. I left for my butler to clean. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
We didn't even make the joke. You did that yourself.
Posh Bear appearance 1 so far.
Take your shots.
And that's
Take your shot.
one for me.
All right. Anybody else have anything to add that they may have forgot? Going once, going twice. All right.
Sea of Thieves. Wait, what? No, just kidding.
God, you said that, and my stomach actually kind of dropped a little. Like, oh God, here we go.
So I said it.
Another
I
20
almost
minutes.
closed the window.
I almost came to your house and
I
punched
can't.
you.
Finish the. Gone.
Wait, is something going on? You can't hear me.
And with that, let's move into the news. All right, Doc, what is in the news this week?
Well, turns out Battle Royale had not quite infected every game on the planet yet, and Red Dead Online gets a Battle Royale mode.
What?
I thought they already had one. The one with the throwing knives and arrows. Was that not a battle royale?
Apparently, it wasn't the official Battle Royale mode. It could have been very much similar to it. I don't know.
Not battle royale
I'm-
enough.
Yeah, not Royale enough, but I haven't really been into the Red Dead Online like I thought I would have. Have any of you guys
0%.
stuck with it anymore? 0? Okay, all right.
I tried it.
Nil.
It was boring, but wasn't that the same as Grand Theft Auto 5? When
Probably.
it first started, it was a little rough.
Not for me.
I
I mean,
still-
it was rough, but I was super into it. Like watching my money go up and like seeing a catalog of things I could buy. Like I was pumped. And then I got into Red Dead and I was like, oh, I could buy it.
I'm just still
Bigger
mad
horse.
at the economy. It's literally real world money to buy some of that stuff.
Yep.
So that turned me off to it.
Welcome to now.
Well, well, I'll let you guys. But hey, it's a beta, so you never know. I mean, it's technically a beta.
Didn't it come out of beta? The Red Dead Online.
I think it's. I think they
No.
released a statement recently saying they're going to give it another, for whatever it means to give it another few months.
Oh, huh.
quote unquote beta.
Okay.
But,
it's gonna be really
so
funny
anyways,
if they reset everyone's shit.
Oh, could you imagine?
There's no way they
Yeah.
There would be an uprising.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like they probably would get a pretty bad backlash. So, Red Dead Online Battle Royale. The mode has players gathering weapons and ammo as they fight to stay alive in an ever-shrinking area. Stop me if you've heard this before. With 31 players, other players. So they're not doing the full 100. The new mode is now available in free-for-all and team variations where the last one standing wins. So,
how are they going to get to it?
Standard.
Like, how are they going to fall in?
I'm assuming it'll pop up somewhere on your map, and you just like, do you want to join?
Hot air balloon.
Probably.
No, I mean, when you launch into the map, you know how we jump out of planes.
Oh,
I think you random. I think I was watching a stream. I think it's a random spawn. So everyone's already on the map.
Oh man, I was really hoping for like flying carriage with horses, and you jump out of the carriage. But
yeah, I didn't see any of that.
They missed an opportunity if it's not that. Yeah, so
that
you probably just spawn
the,
somewhere.
Yeah, I mean that could be the mode I was watching in it. I could get this completely wrong, but from what I saw, people were just random. It was a random spawn.
And you're just on like a Wright Brothers wobbly plane, and you just jump off the side.
I'm hoping for hot air balloons.
There you go, or the Hindenburg or something like that. Maybe just like a big blimp. You're just...
Oh god, with the old dresses as you parachute.
I really hope they add this. Anyways, so do you think this would be enough to get any of you guys back into Red Dead Online, or probably not?
I'm out with Red Dead until I can muster my. I don't know. Yeah, I can't do it at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know if this will be the thing that really ever or that gets me back in either. I think I've kind of, I don't know, not for me, I guess. Anyways, moving on. Bungie and Activision. All right, everybody have a seat, guys, in the living room here. Everybody have a seat. Your daddy and mommy, Bungie and Activision, we are not getting along anymore. This is probably for the better, but we are getting a divorce. There's no easy way to say this, but we can't get along. So that's that.
So now are they considered a small indie studio?
No. No. I think they employ over 400 something people. They are anything but a small studio. They are on the level of like any major studio out there owned by a first party. So yeah, they are splitting ways. Activision will no longer be publishing the game. I'm assuming Bungie will be either self-publishing or they will get a different publisher. I'm assuming they have made enough money at this point. They probably... Well, my whole thing with this is that there's enough name recognition out there now for Destiny. They probably don't need a publisher.
They're self-publishing.
Yeah. And think about it. Like, I mean, they'll put out commercials, stuff like that. I'm sure they'll have their own publishing campaign or, PR campaign, but... If you've not heard of Destiny yet and you're into video games, then that's like saying you've not heard of Fortnite, So let me know. I got a question for you guys. What do you think the odds are that Bungie takes out the microtransactions in the Eververse? Because I feel like Activision got a lot of blame for that, or the majority of the blame for that.
But if it's making money for them, business-wise stance, would you take it out if you're receiving revenue from it?
I mean, I guess that's the question,
I think you have to weigh the pros and cons there and see, like, a lot of people in your community hate that with, like, a burning passion, and it's, like, one of the most controversial
I don't think
things,
anybody...
so I don't know, it's tough.
Yeah. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that's, like, pro loot boxes from Eververse, or shaders, shader to one piece of armor, like, is that still going to be a thing? Because that sure as hell seemed like a movie would make to sell more Eververse loot boxes. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw this. I was like, okay, forever you've had everybody, the Bungie defenders out there saying, well, it's Activision, it's greedy Activision, that's the reason they're doing this. Well, if Activision's not there anymore and we get Destiny 3 and it's still got that in it, I mean...
I think you'll see a more refined loot box, if anything.
Yes, the more refined loot box.
Yeah, I think that's what you might see. A better, air quotes, better loot box.
See, I don't see too much changing as far as the game content and DLC and purchasable items as far as in the game. What I see changing are the outside business practices, like the year-long DLC that Sony got to hold, things like that, where it's going to be more equal on both playing fields.
I would assume without having the backing of Activision, like, Bungie has a lot of money, but you can't, like, you have to think about how much they're getting backed by Activision. I doubt you'll see the amount of content yearly.
I wouldn't imagine. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I could.
So
yeah.
like that roadmap might only be a couple big things each year or something like that. I don't think they'll be able to keep up with what they've been doing when they were owned by Microsoft and then Activision, and now it's weird calling them an indie title or an indie studio. Shouldn't.
A small.
I mean, they're
independent
not.
studio.
A small independent studio.
Yeah, they are a large independent studio.
Yeah.
They have a lot.
But what are they?
In terms of
They're
their team.
still independent.
They're still an indie.
I think it's going to be good news, though. It'll be interesting seeing like this next year or two, or 3. Like, who's to say Destiny 3 isn't going to be super delayed now? Like, because of this, I think there's a lot of different things that can shake out because of this.
Yeah, because theoretically, we always got the big spiel before that. This was the story, and then Activision come and looked at it, and they said, scrap all this, and we had to redo the story, and we had to launch it by this date, and when it wasn't ready. And you always got the idea that Activision got the blame for that. And I'm not saying they don't deserve the blame, but I'm just saying, for better or for worse, Bungie won't have that shield moving forward. Is like, like if something's wrong, it's kind of on Bungie at this point.
Right, and I think that'll be good for them, honestly. Like, being able to take player feedback and make it literally
direct accountability.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I did hear that they are obligated to finish up their roadmap of content for Destiny 2.
Right.
So it's like they do have to get through all that, which is good that didn't get scrapped, and people who bought the whatever they call their season pass, you're still getting that content. But it kind of makes me a little more excited about Destiny 3 than maybe I would have been initially. It's going to take a lot to get me back in there like I was with 1. So hopefully this is a good move.
I wonder what the odds of cross-play, cross-progression will be now that Bungie is solely at the helm. I wonder if that even means that there's increased odds for that. I don't even know if that,
But I mean, against who? I don't want to play against PC people on.
That's all got to be
Destiny.
with a hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think we're past all that. I think nowadays people will know that the way to do it is you have hoppers that you opt into, but having the option is not a bad thing.
Make a mobile game.
I think they are. I think they actually are making a mobile game. We talked about that way back. I think they are actually developing one. Actually, I don't know if it's Destiny related, but they are making something.
Yeah, it's the loot boxes.
It's just
You
loot
just
boxes.
buy
You just pay money to open up loot boxes. It's great. You guys are gonna love it.
You can shake the loot box.
Anyways, okay. So, anyways, I think we mentioned this in Discord before, and then this story got a lot weirder and crazier over time. But Jason Schreier broke the story that Gearbox was having some legal issues, specifically with Randy Pitchford, who has been out there, I feel like, for the last 5 years talking about Borderlands 3, even though it's not officially been announced yet. So essentially, the crux of this lawsuit is that former general counsel of the game studio Gearbox, him and CEO Randy Pitchford are suing one another in a legal battle that sees both men accused of violating their legal duties to the company. The lawsuit alleges that Pitchford struck a deal in 2016 to receive a quote-unquote personal secretive executive bonus. Man, I really got into the wrong career, because that just sounds awesome. in a line of work to have I'm going to read it again. Personal secretive executive bonus. Wow. $12 million to be paid directly to Pitchford, called, I guess he has a private LLC called Pitchford Entertainment Media Magic.
It just sounds like an offshore account that he could.
That is straight up an offshore account just for tax evasion.
So convenient.
Yeah.
What a name.
I'm going to Google that later and even see what that is. Okay, so the other alleged upper management individual involved, whose name is Calendar, that is actually his name, and his lawyer argue in an advance upon royalties that would otherwise go to Gearbox staff was awarded to Randy Pitchford. He quoted saying, "This is particularly tragic exploitation because these millions are being siphoned to Randy Pitchford's personal account instead of funding the development of Borderlands." Oh, wow. setting up this next story before I have Chocolate talk about it. A lot of this is actually a separate story within a story. So that's the lawsuit going on right now between Gearbox and Randy Pitchford and all that, the secretive $12 million executive bonus. Randy's also involved in another little legal escapade because he had a USB drive which supposedly had 4 unannounced games in development from Gearbox on his personal person that he had with him at a bar in Austin, Texas, which he left at the bar accidentally, I would assume. Some guy picked it up, got home, opened up the USB drive, found all these different unannounced games with playable, apparently some of them had a playable demo. And he also found some other material on the USB drive, which we're gonna ship this over to Chocolate right now for our correspondent on the ground for some details on this.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit vague because what we've got on here is quite graphic. So supposedly he had some porn videos, some cam girls on the memory stick. It gets a little bit worse.
Hey, Risky, while Chocolate's talking about this, do you want to read over the Ars Technica paragraph and see if that is podcast okay?
Yeah, I'm just going to read it right now. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay.
Several hours after the publication of this story, Ars Technica tracked down a Magic podcast on which Pitchford had appeared last year. Around the same time, a Gearbox spokesperson also emailed the podcast to Kotaku in an episode that went live on December 22nd, 2018, the day after the lawsuit was filed. Pitchford told his version... Oh, man. Pitchford told his version of the USB...
Yeah, you didn't read that part,
of the
did
USB stick story for the first time, he said. Pitchford described his enjoyment of camgirl pornography, in which a woman streams live erotic content, and explained that he had saved a porn video of a camgirl on said memory stick before it was lost. And then this is a quote from Randy. It's a woman who is masturbating, and when she has some experience that appears as if she's having an orgasm, a huge amount of fluid comes out of her.
Wow.
This is not a sex worker. This is a fucking magician. He added, saying he had purchased one of her videos and put it on the USB stick. Then he also went on to say, some kid, an employee of the Medieval Times, discovered this memory stick, took it home, and accessed it because it was before we were password protected, and discovered secrets of my company and future games in development. He also discovered the pornography, and it was barely legal porn. This girl's handle was, in quotes, only 18.
I feel like I don't contribute enough as a guest now.
How did she lock down only 18? Like, dang. Being in that business and locking down that handle?
I think the clear question that comes out of all this is, what are you most excited to see in Borderlands 3?
Camgirl stuff?
Oh, that's DLC, Risky. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. You got to pay for
The
that.
magicians.
So.
Oh, God.
I'm going to just, real quick, just round of applause for Risky, just reading that with a straight face, because I was like, I'm not sure this is okay to put on the podcast, but I'll see what my co-hosts think. Oh, Risky's reading it live. Okay.
It's good. It's
How
the
big's
news.
his USB stick?
That's what I was wondering. He's got like 17 games. And...
Oh, that's at least a terabyte, at least. I mean.
I wonder what quality these videos were. Because if they were just like 4K images.
Apparently, all you gotta do is just hang out at bars in Austin, Texas, and you never know what you'll find.
So he said bars, and then it said the dude was from Medieval Times. So like, was he's just chilling at the bar at Medieval Times? Like, who is Randy Pitchford?
I don't know.
I don't think I like him as much as I used to.
I don't either.
Like, you've got a $12 million bonus, and you went to the Medieval Times.
I believe. I'm sorry. It was a personal, secretive, executive bonus risk.
Yeah, and you went to the Medieval Times. Either way, what a scumbag.
I mean, this whole
Great
story is just.
That's true. I do enjoy it.
Shout out to Medieval Times.
Yeah, for sure.
Show sponsor, Medieval Times. Yeah, this whole story was just. It was weird, and then got weirder and weirder after the 2 updates from Jason Schreier. So, I don't know. I guess Randy Pitchford will, I would assume, be parting ways if he has not already parted ways from Gearbox.
He's got a stressful job. I mean, come on, guys.
He's got $12 million in cam girls all over him. Can't be that stressful. I don't know what I'm more angry about. $12 million.
I don't know.
It's cam girl.
I don't know.
It's not like it was underage. Like, That's not what it says.
That whole thing was just more or less. I think if I had to assume, because they also, Jason Schreier pointed out that when you have a lawsuit like this, allegations can be anything. They don't have that. Those don't actually mean that they're
Until
true.
proven
Anybody
guilty.
can say anything in allegations. Yes, so that could just be more defamation than anything. Just wanting to paint a picture of him as a bad person in order to, I guess, maybe leverage their suit. But yeah, that all seems kind of whatever, embarrassing to say the least. But then that whole Ars Technica piece, that was him on a podcast that apparently you can go download and listen
And
to.
I am currently downloading it. So
and currently downloading that episode. It's that's just him being an idiot, I guess, and just getting out there and saying that stuff. So or maybe he doesn't care how he sounds at that point. If you're on a podcast saying it, clearly you don't care.
Well, that's the thing. Like, did he do anything wrong there?
No, I don't think he did anything. I don't think there's actually anything legally wrong there. It's just
think
that
the moral of it is keep your work flash drive and your porn flash drive separate.
That's why I always come to you, Maldo. You're my compass pointing north on morality always. Yeah,
I suppose
so
I might as well say it. It's quite a fitting first name for him anyway.
chocolate coming in there with the zinger.
Randy.
Yeah, so I don't know. Borderlands 3, guys. You excited for Borderlands 3?
Only if there's magicians.
Okay, well, probably not, but anyways. That's it for news for the week. We wanted to go out with a bang on that one. So,
oh
yeah,
boy, no pun intended.
welcome.
Oh, rough.
Oh, okay.
I almost spat water all over my PC.
All right. Where do we go from here?
I don't know, man. I'm lost.
Let's move into new games for the week and some more with Maldo.
Yeah, there's so January 15th, The Walking Dead final season episode 3 Broken Toys is out.
Why is that funny?
Broken audio with broken toys.
Oh, I'm gonna mute myself.
I don't. It's 1 a.m. over there, and it's like it's 4 in the morning, and he's lost his shit.
Risky. You could say and chocolate would be rolling on the floor right now. So.
Better just let Maldo keep
sorry,
going.
guys.
Go, Maldo, go.
Okay.
Go, Maldo, go.
The Grand Tour game, an episodic racing game based on the hit series, featuring seamless transitions from clips of the show to gameplay. New episodes of the Grand Tour game will be releasing weekly during season 3 of the show. This next word I'm gonna
Animusha.
Animusha. Okay. Warlords. Animusha Warlords. Semi-remaster. It's an up-res with improved controls and new soundtrack. January 18th. Ace Combat 7. Skies Unknown's out.
Woo!
And Guacamelee 2. Is this Game Pass? Is that what that is?
No, that's just coming
out. Okay. January 19th. Farm Together. Think mix of Stardew Valley meets Farmville, but with a focus on multiplayer.
That sounds okay.
There's going to be a Cross Atlantic Gaming Ranch on that one, so just
Have you guys tried the multiplayer for Stardew Valley yet?
Almost.
Let's start a farm together.
All right, the risky farms where everybody wants to buy all the mayonnaise.
I don't want to get my products from that farm.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not where I would buy my produce.
Yep.
But yeah, sounds good.
But that's it.
Also, that's it.
All right. We also have some PSAs. Resident Evil 2 remake demo is out right now. It's the one-shot demo. It only lasts 30 minutes, and I believe if you actually get through the whole demo in 30 minutes, you get some type of cutscene that other people don't or something. I might have read that. I might just be throwing you off, so if you work really hard on getting this done in 30 minutes and nothing happens, I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
But the internet might have lied. I'm not sure.
So this is a Polygon article. It says Resident Evil 2's one-shot demo available for PlayStation 4, Windows, PC, and Xbox. Players have a half hour to complete the demo. If they finish their specific mission objectives, they can continue to replay the demo until the 30-minute mark is reached. The demo will include a new cinematic trailer that's exclusive to the trial version of Resident Evil 2.
Do I only get that if I got through it? And
it doesn't say anything about
all right, so it's not a race, or you don't actually have to do that? Sorry.
Do?
But you can make it a race if you want.
I was just about to say, and write in and let us know if you make it under 30 minutes.
And send the whole 30-minute gameplay video to chocolatebear80@gmail.com.
So people on PC have already found workarounds to either keep the timer going or to remove the timer.
Oh, good.
Completely.
Perfect.
Love it.
Yay, PC.
All right, this is the stuff coming to Xbox back compat. We have Battle Stations Pacific, Fuel, and Rayman Raving Rabbids. That's a mouthful. Coming to Game Pass, added as a surprise for this month, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Isn't that a newer game? I feel like that came out last year. Maybe it was the year before?
No, that was the 361, the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate or something, Infinity or something was the newest one.
Yeah, okay. I played whatever the newest one was. I got it in Redbox, and it's fun for a fighting game. Leaving Game Pass at the end of this January, this is where it gets sad. You are going to be losing The Division, so go out there and get those shields while you still can before Division 2 comes out and before this leaves Game Pass at the end of this month. Letter Quest Remastered, Riptide GP Renegade, and The Escapists Walking Dead. Nintendo Switch Online, they're getting 2 new games. Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, and Blaster Master. Those are both coming out on January 16th. So those are the games that you get free for subscribing to their online service. It's $20 a year. So, cool.
Not bad.
All right.
Good.
I think we did it. Got through a whole entire show, and we're not even at the hour and a half mark. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. Do you guys want to talk about something for another 20 minutes or so?
So, Randy Pitchford.
Back to Randy.
Okay, well.
Speaking of Randy, let's plug this show up. Nothing? Did Chocolate giggle at least? Did I miss it?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Aren't you guys excited for Resident Evil 2? Because super excited.
I am. That's the only Resident Evil I've never played and beat. I've played all of them except... Actually, I take that back. I never beat 7. Is the only other one. So yeah, I'm excited to play that for sure.
No, that one's a nostalgia for me, that Resident Evil 2, and I want to get it.
I was excited, and I went and downloaded it. It was on sale for like $1 or $2 on the Vita, the PlayStation 1 version of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean,
not the same.
None of those games from that era hold up, though, when they were breaking into the 3D polygon space, though, really. So
Yeah, it was way better in my head than when I started playing it. I think I'll just wait till the 25th.
You just missed those real-time FNB videos is what you miss. That's where it's at.
Sounds so good. I did see that it's coming to Redbox, so I know I can at least rent it. How long? Do any of you guys know how long of a game that is? Approximately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only one I've never beat, but I know it's at least. I mean, it's pretty lengthy. I would say probably at least 20 some odd hours.
Oh,
I
dang.
guess maybe a little less.
Are you talking about Resident Evil 7?
Two.
Two.
How long that one's going to be?
Or how long
Yeah.
was the original, I guess?
I don't...
I want to say it was close to 20, if not that much.
I was just wondering if it was like a weekend thing, if I had the time. But that's a lot, so...
If you beeline it and you have a little bit of help with some of the puzzles, you probably could.
And there's still like blackouts, so I gotta make time for that and stuff. So
still blackout exists in this world we live in. So
yeah, I am excited for it. I think it looks cool.
Anybody picking up Kingdom Hearts or
No.
No one's got
Okay.
time for
Cabo
that.
does.
I guess nobody
Fair.
has a soul or likes Mickey Mouse.
You
I
don't
have
love
to
Disney?
Start with 1, then 1.2 or 3.7 and 8.
Yeah.
It's called YouTube, man. You just gotta YouTube it now. You just gotta let go and just YouTube.
The story is so convoluted. I don't know who's bad, who's good, if Mickey's dead.
Or these things called Keyblades, and you have a darkness inside. No, I'm not gonna get into
Ace
it. Sorry.
Combat 7. That's what I would get excited about.
Yeah, Ace Combat
I
was good
loved
back
it.
in the
Is
day.
that going to be
I-
multiplayer?
Yeah, it's gonna have multiplayer. You can customize. They're adding like a bunch of customization options in this one, so it could be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it looks
I think
awesome.
I think PlayStation version has the VR component too.
The perfect game.
Quick hits.
Barf Simulator.
Quick hits. Not
2019.
quite 20 minutes. Anyways, if you, for all things Cross Atlantic Gaming, you can head on over to crossatlanticgaming.com. If you want to hang out with us daily, you can join us on Discord, where we are at discord.io/crossatlanticgaming. On socials, we are at CAG Podcast. And if you'd like to support us on Patreon, we are at patreon.com/CAG podcast. Our mailbag episode, I believe, is it next episode?
Next week.
It is next episode.
Yep.
I believe it's next episode. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so you can send in questions for the mailbag to cagpodcast@gmail.com. We also have a channel that's open in our Discord where you can just post the questions there.
Is there anything off limits?
Nothing can be related to the Randy Pitchford story. This trend.
Just I mean, no, most things aren't to an extent. I don't know what rules.
I mean,
to
let's
put
be
on
real.
this.
We're basically getting an explicit tag on our podcast after this episode. So what's it matter? I guess.
Hey, we
right?
still have a bike horn.
Okay, you're right. You're right. True.
She was a beep, beep, magician.
It's gonna sound totally different in post. I can't wait. I think she was a balloon animal maker. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Water guns.
And the magic trick was...
Anyways, if you want to find me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere. Chocolate.
I'm Chocolate Bear 80
Doc.
everywhere.
Oh.
Doc H1X1 everywhere.
And our special guest, Maldo Rob. Where can we find you?
Maldo Space Rob on Xbox, Maldo_Rob on PlayStation. Thank you guys. It's always a blast when you allow me to come on, hang out with you, and talk about games. So I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maldo.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Keep your fast drive safe.
What's a
Keep
fast drive?
Keep your
Well,
friends
that's not what
close
we
and
call
keep
them
your-
here in
keep your-
America.
I don't think they call it over there that either.
Fast drive.
Should we put out a PSA like if you have children in the car, don't play this episode?
Oh,
I mean,
It's
I think
fine.
every episode has a level of I should listen to this with headphones in
Yeah,
public.
I think so. we're really in a gray area where every episode dog's like, that game's a pile of dog shit, and you're like, well, my child's in the car. Should So
should bleep out the word dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go, Chocolate. That's why Chocolate is our FCC representative. He is on the spot with those.
And if you want a couple of bike horns, motherfucking put this fucking beeping fucking.